All right, let's talk about the internet, specifically that fragile system of trust that keeps it all running and how bad guys are turning it against us. You know that little padlock icon you see in your browser? Yeah, that one. It's the universal sign for, hey, you're safe here. But what is it really telling you? What's behind it? Because, well, that simple symbol is sitting on top of a huge, complex, and kind of fragile system of digital trust. And the really wild part? The very tools that make up this system can be hijacked and used against you. So let's dive in.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about the promise behind that padlock. How is this system actually supposed to work to keep us safe?
It all comes down to something called public key infrastructure, or PKI. The easiest way to think about it is like a global notary service for the internet. Its whole job is to hand out digital certificates that prove a website is who it claims to be.
And the way it works is through what we call a chain of trust. It all starts with a pretty small group of highly trusted organizations. See, buried deep inside your computer's operating system is a special list of what are called root certificate authorities. Your computer is basically pre-programmed to trust these guys, no questions asked. So when you visit your bank's website, its security certificate is checked against this chain, all the way back to one of those trusted roots. If it all checks out, boom, you get the padlock.
Okay, so PKI uses some seriously powerful encryption to protect us. But what happens when criminals take those exact same tools and use them to hold our data hostage?
This is the nasty genius of ransomware. It doesn't have to break the encryption. It just uses perfect, unbreakable encryption against you. It takes the tools meant to build a safe, and instead builds a cage.
So how's it pull this off? Well, the really sophisticated ransomware uses this brutally efficient process called hybrid encryption. Check this out. It generates a brand new key right there on your machine and uses that to scramble all your files super fast. But here's the killer move. It then encrypts that key with its own public key. Then, for the finale, it completely destroys the original key. It's diabolical. And it often uses your own operating system's built-in crypto tools to do the dirty work. And you know, this is what separates the script kiddies from the pros. This isn't just deleting a file. The malware calls a specific system function, crypt destroy key, that is designed to securely scrub the key from memory. It's a critical last step that guarantees the only way to get your files back is to pay for the attacker's private key. There is no other copy. And this just shows you that not all ransomware is made the same. It really runs the gamut. You've got your basic scareware, which just tries to trick you, all the way up to Category 6 threats. We're talking military-grade crypto that is, for all intents and purposes, absolutely perfect. You know, it's pretty surprising, but even the infamous WannaCry attack, the one that spread like a wildfire and crippled hospitals, wasn't top tier. It was only a Category 3 because some clever researchers found a kill switch hidden in the code that let them shut it down. It's a great reminder that the real danger isn't always the math behind the crypto, but how perfectly it's all put together. So we've seen how the tools of trust can be totally twisted. But what happens when the very foundation of that trust system starts to crack? Now that's when things get really scary. Think about this. The security of the entire internet pretty much rests on the shoulders of about 650 companies. These are the certificate authorities. They're the gatekeepers. So here's the nightmare scenario. What if just one of these CAs gets hacked? Or maybe a government forces them to create fake certificates. If that happens, they could impersonate any site online, Google, your bank, you name it. And your browser, it would still show you that happy little padlock telling you everything's fine. And let me be clear, this isn't some theoretical what if. It's happened more than once. Back in 2011, the certificate authority Comodo was breached. That same year, a Dutch authority called DigiNotar had what they called a total compromise, and it put them out of business. This right here should tell you everything. Even the biggest names in the game, the gatekeepers of our digital trust, are huge targets. And sometimes, like with VeriSign, the attackers get through. It really does prove that old saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Okay, that sounds pretty bleak, I know. But the good news is the security community isn't just sitting around. They're actively building a better, smarter lock. And they have to, especially for the next evolution of the Internet of Things. The challenge here is just immense. I mean, how do you get a robust, trustworthy system like PKI to work on billions of tiny, low-power devices? We're talking about sensors, smart appliances, things with barely any memory or processing power to spare. You just can't use the old stuff. The protocols that secure our web browsing today, like TLS, are just too heavy, too bloated for these little guys. So a whole new set of standards is being built from the ground up, designed to be incredibly efficient and lightweight. This is the new toolkit. You've got protocols like OSCORE for real end-to-end security, EDHOC for a super fast and light key exchange, and CBOR to make the data itself much, much smaller. The whole point is to bring the power and security of PKI to even the tiniest little devices, to make our connected world stronger. So yeah, these new technologies definitely give us a fighting chance. But it does leave us with one last big question. As we connect literally everything, our cars, our cities, our homes, are we actually building a stronger, more resilient web of trust? Or are we just building a bigger, more complicated house of cards? Now that is something to think about.